Let's go, Red. Just the right time. Why is that? Yeah, weird. The screen thing locks up sometimes. You don't love that. You don't love that one bit. All right. Oh. It's weird that it locks up like that. What's good, Panda? We loved having you for that last little bit of that stream. You were nothing but sweet. And also, you made, yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, yesterday, well, first of all, let me just say hi. Boom. Hi. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a lovely day. How was your weekend or weekday? Weekdays? But all of it. All of it. How was it? Was it good? Hopefully, yes. Yeah, man, yesterday I was kind of being a little, I don't know, sometimes when you plan for something to go on in a stream, and it's not working out, like you're playing a game and the game keeps crashing, you're almost kind of just like, well, do I just throw in the towel? Or do I make the best of what it is? And sometimes you're like, well, I'm trying to make the best of what it is, but it's not really happening. But yesterday, what do you call it? As soon as I got that GoPro mod, I'm like, okay, we can have some fun at Bone Lab. Because Bone Lab is in this weird state where there's not a lot of games. Or there's not a lot of, Bone Lab is in a state which is really, really cool, but also terrible. It's in a state where you make your own fun, but it's really hard to make your own fun sometimes. It's easy to do for a video because I can edit around things, but 90% of the time it's me setting up enemies and then killing them. And it's just like, well, you can only do that so much before you start to get your mind melted, which is why I wanted to show you guys this. Vertigo 2, one of the better games that came out in the last couple of years, made by one person, which is insane. This is like putting a lot of AAA games to shame, and it's on like a Half-Life Alyx level of like quality that's fantastic. Made by one guy. Fucking absurd. Anyways, this person basically is making the bottomless update to Vertigo, which essentially gives people a map creator, which is a thing that people desperately need in Bone Lab, along with a bunch of other things. But like, we need to have dynamic maps, not just the ability for like an open room and for you to be able to put down like tiny objects. You know, it's not the same thing as being able to completely shift something. Like he shows some of the maps that they were able to make. Looks great. I can't wait. So the whole modding scene. So Vertigo's value just fucking spiked because now it's a moddable game. But it's not moddable. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it. It's level creatable, I guess. It's still kind of moddable. But anyways, Panda says, "Oh shit, yeah, I have a face. I have a face, yeah. What do you go? I've been on YouTube for 8 years, Panda. So man, you can see my dumb face evolve from a prepubescent child to man. We'll say." Also, what's good, Aiden? What's good, She Hates? She Hates says, "Yo, what's up, girl? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? How's your week been? What you been playing? What was the funnest part of your week? Hopefully it was not shit. If it was, then just tell me about it. Vent to your boy. I'll be your internet therapist and take no responsibility for what happens." Okay? We can talk about it. So yeah, in Vertigo, by the way, you have the guy who made it, the one guy. He could have probably just like uploaded the map editor. That would have been plenty for the community to go, fuck yeah, let's go. Vertigo is one of the better engines and the more pretty looking games. Let's go. PC VR, not dead, full send it, yes. But he also basically gave people the ability to replay with different skins, like different avatars, which is really cool. But he went a step further and he gave all those avatars special abilities. So you can play like the old man, which basically converts Vertigo's game into a boomer shooter where you're like picking up health drops and you're like picking up ammunition like Doom. You can also have modifiers now in your runs where like every time you kill an enemy, they swap weapons. So it's kind of a mess, but it's kind of like, it could be a fun challenge run. So we might be playing through Vertigo again, either through some maps or through some challenge mode things. So Vertigo is a blast. It actually ran fairly well for me, even though I don't have a godly PC, you know? Panda says, I can already see the Vertigo-inspired mods. Dude, I can't wait. Well, yeah, that was one of the things. I think that's the coolest part about, like, as much as everyone who isn't a part of the VR community is so badly like, please let us push past this age of platforms. Like, there's like 3 games that came out this week for Quest. for Meta, Oculus Quest, or whatever you want to call it, but they refuse to basically allow your PC to run it at all. You have to run it in standalone, which you can only play for 2 hours before your battery fucking gets bricked. So it's just stupid. I don't mind the pullback of graphics, but I do mind not being able to play it in my current setup. It's baffling to me. And it's also like, I'm still paying Meta money. I just want to play it whilst using my PC to run it, not just my fucking headset. So any weird stability things should be easier. It's also easier to record on PC. Anyways, but I think a lot of us want to move past this kind of like, in like this weird state that like PC VR basically had to get paused because it just wasn't working. Not enough people were adopting it. But now Meta's just released Sequestry, which is just able to kind of tickle the PC VR things. So we need like one more jump for it to be pretty goddamn convincing. But anyways, the reason why I bring that up is because I so desperately want to get back to the whole PC VR being like the normalcy of it all being the case. But one thing that's amazing about VR right now, as much as I do want it to move forward, I do want it to take a step forward, I do want it to stop with this weird not letting things move forward. I also think it's beautiful that so many VR games have like collaborative feats. It's either that or Unreal Engine just kind of been the birthplace of all that. But like as soon as Vertigo came out, immediately on Bone Lab there was like a guy who I think just took all the assets and just converted them. Either that or the guy who made the game was just like, do you want them? Like, because it's such a small community at this point, and it's all like, you're not making something that's gonna make $1 billion. You're making something that's gonna make maybe a couple 100,000 if you're really selling a lot, which isn't really a lot given this guy's worked on this game for 4 years or something. Anyways, the point is that it's cool to see VR in this kind of like iterative fun space where people are sharing things and it's not like gluttonous with money, and then there's Mark Zuckerberg just trying to suck the life out of the ecosystem without providing value. With that being said, he did provide value. I don't know, man. The more I look at Meta, the more I'm getting annoyed, just because again, like they're doing more of like building up fences to protect what is essentially nothing than building up the ecosystem. Like, why they bought like 5-7 developers, and fucking what do you call it? We've seen like 3 games, maybe. Like I said, why can't I still play on my PC and then give Mark Zuckerberg whatever the money? Like, it's weird that they're not allowing you to play games on PC. Like they're forcing you to play it standalone. If you have a PC, like it's just fucking mind numbing. Anyway, sorry I ran that you guys. A little venting. Anyway, Aiden says, I've been playing the 7th guest, dude. I kind of feel like I feel bad. Okay, I feel bad a little bit about the 7th guest because when I seen gameplay of it, it was right around like the VR showcase, and I'm just jaded by like every single VR game that we tend to see being this like, and it's usually from like Meta, but it's like it's I think it's also because they're just not very complex. Not complex is the wrong word. Not like hardware demanding, like just to run, like you just need to render a level and you can like really work the graphics and all that stuff and the lighting to be razor sharp so you're not like overtaxing the system. But I was really frustrated to see another puzzle game. Like one of the things we always see in VR land is puzzle games. Puzzle games, and then like wave-based shooters. So you're anchored in a spot and you're shooting things as hordes come at you. Those are like the 2 things that make people just make tons of. So I was fucking annoyed as soon as I seen the 7th guest when it was like the 3rd puzzle game I seen for Quest or for like VR. I was like, no, give me something that's actually a game. It's not me like sitting there having to think 15 minutes trying to pluck things. But I feel bad saying that the 7th guest didn't deserve that. Basically, I've seen some gameplay of it. It looks like predominantly looks like a story game. It's very atmospheric. That then happens to also be puzzles, and the puzzles don't look like they look like you could understand them. One of the things that's frustrating about puzzle games is sometimes it's just like it doesn't seem like it's trying to get you to move forward. It almost seems like it revels in the fact that you have to pause and look up some shit. But the 7th guest looked like a good time. Also, like the weird way they did this thing where they took like old style movies, because I think the 7th guest is a movie, but then they like layered it over like a 3D model, it looks a little jank, but like if you catch the right angle, you're like, oh fuck, this is actually working. Especially if you've ever seen like VR movies, or like not movies, VR, like if you go to YouTube and you type in like VR experiences, they're all like looking at a paper wall basically. None of them have depth at all, and it's all kind of grating. But sure as shit, when you play a VR game, you get to have that. You get to see like a 3D model. You can like look around them. You get to see that they're far away from you, close to you, that kind of thing. I haven't really seen any VR games use like that to their advantage. Like if a person gets close to you, I think it's because things can get blurry if people get too close with your headset. Anyway. Panda says, I can already see the video of Vertigo Bone Lab, the level editor. Yeah, the level. Oh yeah, man. I hope so badly. Like I know there was like a drop of hope in the Bone Lab scene, and now it's kind of like dried up a little bit. But like Stress Level Zero, essentially, the people who made Bone Lab are making the Marrow engine. Basically, they're having to remake Bone Lab from the ground up to have their like actual Gary's Mod, easy to edit kind of thing. But man, I don't know. Everyone's kind of in the same category, I think, where like I'm excited, but it doesn't, like they basically made it sound like they're nowhere close, like in 2 years from now. And I'm like, man, 2 years from now, I'm not sure if I'm like the Avatar mods and all that stuff from Bone Labs are gonna do much. But with that being said, the Bone Lab like mod editing scene have just went above and beyond, and like just went crazy and made a bunch of shit. Like they made their own SDK and all these crazy things. So maybe they'll just like, we'll have like the communities, which I feel like, I don't know how they're not gonna. Yeah, I feel like the modding scene, I feel like it's just gonna make a better engine than they are. But maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic. It just seems like modders tend to be the kind of people that are like, oh yeah, I just like did this crazy thing and it was no big deal. And meanwhile, a company's like, it took us $1 million to make an eighth of that. Well, great. Well, fuck. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say, man. Maybe passion burns. I don't know. Panda says, I actually love the puzzle games. It just adds to the whole new level of a puzzle. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess. Maybe I should. I mean, I don't know. I also find I'm very much skewed in the perception that I play. I'm like a content creator, essentially. I love creating things. Like I when I play games, my brain loves thinking about, oh, this could be a fun video, this could be a cool angle, that kind of thing. So my brain is constantly thinking in that way. So when I play a puzzle game, if you're like streaming or if you're making a video, you're kind of like, man, it's been like 10 minutes, or it's been like a minute. Let's just say 30 seconds. It's been 30 seconds. You're like, I'm lost. I don't know how to solve this thing. And now if you're playing in the quiet of your room with nobody watching, you're like, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm just gonna look around for another 10 minutes. It's fine, baby. We just coasting. But when you're streaming or when people are watching and their time is valuable and you respect that time, you're kind of like, fuck, I'm an idiot. Why am I not? What can it be? What can it be? Ah, I hate myself. I hate this game. I hate myself. I hate this game. You get caught in a loop of like, damn it. Damn it. Shit. Why am I'm an idiot? You know? So yeah, it's rough. It's not great. Okay, you just said that exactly that, yeah. Let me catch up on chat. Red's on YouTube side of things. What's good? She hates says, I've been playing the usual MC Fort with friends, and I play up to 7 Stardew Valley. Again, what about you? Ooh, man, Stardew Valley, all those games. I don't know if we have like a really good VR Stardew Valley-esque kind of game yet. I know we do have the Minecraft thing, but yeah. Man, that's the other thing. This is kind of a stupid question probably, but why hasn't there been like a Minecraft 2.0 kind of game? Like, was the guy who made Minecraft, I forget his name, was he just that crazy? Like, he just thought of like some sort of infinite system that was madness? Because I feel like there has to be, like, there's a game I always talk about, but it's like this break into a level or a warehouse, take a safe, and then like drive away essentially. It's all pixel art. It looks, but the lighting is really good, and it's like tinier. Basically, it's like Minecraft, but just make a bunch of tinier squares essentially. I've seen Minecraft mods that do that. So I wondered why people basically didn't take the destructible environments of that game and then the whole Minecraft infinitely regenerating based on these tiny block parameter and make another game. Even if it was like less big in size, like it took maybe 10 minutes for you to render a world that was maybe like an eighth of the size of like a decently big map. I don't know. I think it'd be fine, but or maybe there's like legal hell. It's like somehow Microsoft is like paid for the idea of Minecraft to basically be theirs, which is fucked up because it's but Red says, I've been playing a Stardew Valley. Have you tried? Yeah. What do you call it? But say she hates. My time at Sandrock is what Red has been playing. He has been saying nothing but good things, and actually, it's as a person who doesn't tend to like play those types of games, it looks awesome. It looks like a kind of game if you like that kind of peaceful builder sim. I think you also have like companions and romance. You can also play, I believe, with your friends. I'm not sure if that's for. I think you can. And yeah, it just seems like a really, really good game if you're into those kinds of games. But I also feel like they have put no money into marketing, which is a shame. But it's pretty good. Aiden says it's pretty good. At all the puzzles make you think a lot. Okay, that's good. Red says, yeah, I think so. MTAS is basically a 3D Stardew Valley. Yeah. I feel people would like it I feel like it'd be crossover. Anyways, I have to go. Oh, goodbye, Aiden. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy the seventh guest. Red says MTAS was an my time at Sandra was an early access game. Access for years, but finally full release this month. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Huh. What's another game that like is about to? Oh, that's what it is. Blade and Sorcery. Blade and Sorcery, man. It looks like maybe early next year might full on be releasing, which is crazy. Hopefully the mod scene can finally like flourish because despite Blade and Sorcery having one of the best mod scenes, every single time they update to like U10, U12, version 3, version 5 kind of thing, everyone has to update their mods, but people will make the coolest mod and then like leave forever. You're like, damn it. Luckily that you can like run back the clock and like play an older version with relative ease because of Steam. Steam makes it easier to do that, but it's still kind of like, damn it. Damn it. So much waste, essentially. She Hates says, actually, Red, now that I look it up, I've seen people stream it. I've been looking all over for it. I'd search it. Crazy coincidence. I really appreciate. Oh, cool. It's just crazy. You seen streamers playing, you're like, I want to play this. I can't find the name, you sons of bitches. And then bang, serendipity. I've asked streamers, but she wasn't able to read my message. Lame. That's sad. Yeah, apparently there's a prequel, or there's not a prequel, there's a previous game called My Time at Sephora or some shit? I don't know. Some weird name like that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I've been playing it a lot. Characters, story, gameplay, enjoying all of it, love it. Panda says, okay, you just said exactly what I said. Bro, I was playing a full Skate 3 map port in Bone Lab before that shit just crazy. Oh, really? Maybe I was wondering about that, Panda. I want to make a video about, like, the best maps in Bone Lab just to play. But, like, cause I typed that up just because I was like, yeah, I kind of, there's not a lot of, like, maps, and it's this weird thing with, like, Fusion, now that, like, everything that you search on YouTube is like tied to Fusion, which is awesome that people are loving Fusion, but it's also just like if you can't have fun by yourself, then it's I feel like that should be a baseline. Like if you let me just mess around with mechanics in this level, that could be fun. Playing with your friends, I think it makes it infinitely more fun because you both can one friend can kind of be the D&D player, like setting up things and creating weird shit, and you build off each other and it works. But you're playing by yourself, it's not going to be as easy. But yeah. I went to look up all like the best like Bone Lab mods or maps, so we can maybe like do some fun things with Bone Lab in the future. But sure as shit, man, I found like the same things. Like it's always the slide level, which is fun. The level that we played, which is cool. We played yesterday, which I struggled to solve. Again, me talking about my inept ability to play puzzle games. And then one other thing. I can't think of what the other thing was though. But basically the same maps I've seen for like 3 years going, and I'm like, God damn you, holy shit, Beastie, it's been a millennia. How are you, buddy? Hope I'm taking care. We're also streaming on YouTube on Saturdays, so we're doing 2. But But that's interesting. So there's a Bone Lab Skate 3? Dang. Yeah, but see, so there's maps, man, but I don't know what we'd like. I don't know. I wish there was something that they could do on the map. You know, like there was something. The most successful Bone Lab maps are like the tube levels, where you're like you're on a you're just like riding slides essentially, which is a really cool perspective to have in VR. But there's not like things for you to do. Like enemies are set up in these locations. You have to breach it. There's not like there's like monkey bars, but there's not like there's not any parkour levels. Like, you know, the parkour level, the base level of a Bone Lab Panda. What do you call it? That is what I was hoping that like the mod scene would be, is people making their own like dynamic, climbable environments essentially, but no dice. But like, and if it is, it's kind of like it's obvious. Like I wish they would just give it. I wish they did the damned blade and sorcery like grab mechanic, which they kind of have. Like there's a mod that you can download for Spider-Man where you basically just climb on any wall. But I so deeply wish they would have just had like, if there's even the slightest edge, you grab. It looks a little clunky. If you were to go like this, you were able to see your hands not even touching. But just something, rather than just like your hands kind of mapped to these weird like broken wrist like locations. It gets weird. Maybe we should just rock one of those like magnet climbers and you'll be fine. Maybe, I don't know. I love Bone Lab. I shouldn't say, I cannot stress enough how I deeply, deeply love Bone Lab. I watch the speed runs, I watch the modding scene, I do all that, but I feel like it's sad that it just seems like there's not enough there for modders to build what the devs built, which is, it's a little sad, you know. It's not that they can't, it's just that they have to like find every possible backdoor they can to make that kind of happen, you know. But again, the good news is that the devs for Bone Lab have said that like, oh no, we're still gonna keep like slowly updating the game and adding shit, so it's not like it can't turn around on like a dime by them finally like updating the mod editor and stuff like that. Anyway, there is co-op in that game. Good. She hates says VR, but I've been waiting. I've actually saved up for electric guitar, but once I do, I'm definitely gonna save up for some VR too. But one at a time. Yeah, it's good. Good to have like patience, one at a time kind of thing. Man, it's tough. It's so hard for me as a VR like fanboy nerd at this point, for like me not being like, there's some VR games where you can play a guitar. Like, well, I mean, and it's a unique experience, like some weird shit you'll never experience in your life, like exploring an alien planet and shit that feels pretty damn grounded. But you can play guitar at any point in your life, you know. But this VR thing, no, you get the guitar. But yeah. Ooh, that tea is always disgusting. There are these campaign mod levels in mod.io, and I play the Minecraft parkour map, which was cool. Original idea. Oh shit, okay. Yeah, I played like a Minecraft map once, but, and it could also be the fact that maybe I'm just like, I don't know, like maybe I'm like, when I play like Blade and Sorcery, for instance, like if I contrast that with Blade and Sorcery, I find like the Blade and Sorcery community is a little bit more, they're like a little more specific, which I like. Like, so for instance, they'll be like, this is a parkour map, and they'll just have like the entirety of Assassin's Creed map, the whole ass map, playable, and you can just nuke the graphics if you want to just basically do anything. But you can basically put there's like a cheat that you can get yourself on in Blade and Sorcery, where anything that you even slightly touch you can grab. So then you're just like, and then you can download like I think it comes in like a pack where you can download Ezio's skin. But like that, the objective is clear for that map. You literally just fucking parkour around. I think the mod author actually is doing crazy shit where he's actually like spawning enemies, so you can do like death from above. It's like the whole ass Assassin's Creed experience. Whereas Bone Lab is like, there's a tube mod. You can go down a slide. And I'm like, okay. There's a Minecraft mod where you can jump on blocks. Okay, what do I do? How do I'm not creative? I guess. What do I do? I feel like I'm like you know, I need something. You know, military games are easy because it's like point, shoot, we're done. Just kill enemies, survive, got it. Climbing ones, reach the top, got it. Bone Lab sometimes be like, we ported this giant level from another game into here, and I'm like, awesome, it looks great. What do I do in it? And they're like, yep, yeah. you can just download Fusion Mod and play with your friends. What can we do in it? And they're like, summon enemies. you could tie enemies up. Like, it sucks because there's clear, like, I'm not making fun of Bone Lab really. I kind of am, but I am like, Bone Lab is one of the most frustrating things because it like, the idea is it. Like, especially with Fusion, the fact that they were able to kind of like do so much work by themselves and create like a multiplayer map that works really well. Like, yeah, Bone Lab, like, it works. Like, if they can realize the mechanics that they put into the game and make it easier to create like a map editor, like what we're seeing, where they can actually like position things in perfect order and all that stuff, and like get things to detonate at the right time. I might be overselling the Vertigo map editor, but yeah, all that stuff. Then we can start cooking. But like, that was my problem when I noticed like the avatar mods were insane, where you could like summon, like, can morph your arm into a gun and it would look rad. You could like have like super strength, rad. But the issue a little bit is like, what do we do with that cool avatar mod? Like, what is the level that actually has us utilize the cool like amorphous stuff? Bone Lab had a really cool engine where you could like do physics puzzles within the environment. Probably why Panda probably loves Bone Lab, and I would imagine Bone works as well, because there's like this puzzleization to it, but it's also like you can break the puzzle because there's physics. So if you want to like type in the code, you can, but if you want to like stack up a bunch of boxes and jump over the entire hill, you can just, or a cage, you can as well. And things like that. So that's the thing I think we're missing. We're missing that like the ease of use to be able to set up levels, and then to actually have like things happen in those levels besides it just being basically like an empty level. Anyways, I got other things to pay to. Yeah. Best to not burn money. Burn money. I get you. I just am happy to see that you're considering some VR stuff, because people. Yeah, well, I definitely think because I started making videos for it, and that's how my brain works, VR is like the best, just like a buffet for content creation as far as I'm concerned. Like, there's so many fun mods, there's so many fun games, there's so many fun like perspectives of an angle. Like, I seen the other day, like, people have a whole channel dedicated to like basically like lewd / suggestive VR mods, which you'll pay like $1 for, and they're mostly Chinese or Japanese, but they're like super weird and they're interesting, and as long as you blur a lot of stuff, the absurdity of it is in itself kind of hilarious. Like, I seen this one from this video by this guy who basically, there's like a weird obscure game where you're a tiny guy in VR and you're being picked up by a gigantic like demon giant woman essentially, and of course you're getting bored. You're basically getting eaten and then killed, which is weird. I felt like the kill part was a little strange, but yeah, it's like the goofiness of it, the absurdity of it, the spectacle of it just works. So there's like so much weird shit there. There's also so much like awesome shit there, like the realisticness of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades is awesome. I got actually maybe the next game we actually jump into and like get into, because I didn't realize how much actual content there is to do. Best example I could possibly mention is to contrast it with Bone Lab. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades is basically a gun sim. It's just like you can take any weapon, you can put a sight on it, you can pull back a thing. You actually have to like nail the reload. Like, you can't like mess up and just expect it to magnetize into the bullet or into the chamber, all that stuff. You have to like pull back the pin. Everything is like so specific and minute. And at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the game's life cycle, that was its job. It was basically just meant to be like, you like guns? World War II guns. Modern day guns, obscure kind of futuristic guns that still have like, they make sense in how they actually function. Like, you have to put a battery in it, and you have to actually put a magazine in it, and if you shoot too quickly, the barrel gets hot, and the bullets the accuracy just gets destroyed. Like, that was the game, And then recently, Anton, the fucking wizard of modding that I've ever seen. I think he's incredible. He's not a modder, he's a developer. But he's actually making like levels, like holding points, and he's making like bosses for you to actually go and fight. You have to like destroy cubes, these like hyper specific centers. There's like mines that have like a grid around them of triangles, but they basically pulsate like this. So every single time they pulsate, there's a core that gets shown, and if you thread that needle with that bullet, you basically detonate the mine and you kill them. There's also another one where like they separate it to tiny little nodes, and you have to destroy each node as it's flying around to kill the enemy, as it starts piecing itself back together, and then you blow it up, the true self of it all. I'm talking nonsense, but that's the kind of shit of like, that's what I need. That's the kind of like modes, things to actually use all the cool mechanics that VR people are so good about fostering. That allows me to actually apply them and to like have fun by applying them. Not have to kind of think in all the crazy ways that I can maybe possibly apply them. My time in Sandrock is a massive improvement from passive portion. Bolty says, "Hey, what's good, Bolty? What you been getting up to? What happened? All you beautiful people. It's been forever, Beastie." I see Bolty, didn't I? Fuck, I meant Beastie. Shit. Oh yeah, nothing compared to shredding on a real guitar. Yeah. Yeah, man. I've never been a guitar person though. Mostly because I can't do it because of my hands. But even though the same probably could apply to piano, but I feel like piano, man, I don't know why. I'm sure it's impossible, like fucking difficult beyond belief. But yeah, a piano to me speaks to me. Nothing compared to the shredding a guitar. She Hates says, "I'm just afraid I get into a scenario like punching my wall because of a zombie villager in my VR. My room isn't large either. I have like maybe like your wingspan. Like I have my wingspan of room to move around, and I mostly the good news is that VR has gotten to a point, especially if you're probably going to get the Quest 3, I would imagine. Because it just seems like a decent deal. But now they have things where like the moment that you get close to an object, it will actually like bleed into your reality. So it'll show you that you're getting close to a wall and try to keep your immersion still intact, where it'll basically like take away the virtual world, be like, hey man, you're getting close to your boundary, and that boundary is close to an actual object, which is pretty cool. So they're making strides with technology to make it so that's less of a possibility for you to just biff your hand on a desk. Granted, you know, sometimes you're like, maybe we don't want that ugly border because it's ugly, and you still smash your hand on a desk. You know, I use strength. Also, Panda says, like modding campaigns, there are these kids. Map. Panda says, I feel like if they gave you a full Assassin's Creed mod in a game, it loses the core, which is the story. If they give you an outright dedicated parkour map, an objective to clear, and will be full of custom campaigns even more. What are you saying? Basically, instead of like just basically making like an Assassin's Creed clone, to make a whole new map with objectives? Yeah, no, that makes sense. I would be fine with that. My whole thing is that I feel like a lot of maps are just maps, like they're empty vessels. Now maybe like the people are like, yeah, it's your job to make the fun, but it's also nice to have like, again, like have an objective. Like you said, maybe like if Bone Lab, the developers were to basically make like a quick fix, maybe like once every 2 months, they were like, okay, we're gonna give you the framework. It's barely worked. We're gonna give you the framework to basically make parkour levels by like, we made a system where in the mod editor, if you get to a single point, you hear a ding, you basically cleared the next hurdle, you have a checkpoint now. Awesome. And that's basically the whole premise of you climbing. And all the ways you can get around weird objects is your thing to do. And if you actually go over here and you do this secret kind of like extra pass, this bonus path of climbing, you can actually get the like game-breaking gravity gloves, which can let you go basically anywhere. Like things like that are nice, but most modern mod things don't have that. It's an empty vessel, it's an empty world, which to me I'm like, so close. She Hates says, hell yeah, Beasley, I always wanted to learn electric guitar. I've only had used acoustic guitar when I am young. Do you own one? Ooh. Also, what's good, Lone? Lone says hello. What's good, Lone? VC says, I bought an acoustic a while back because I wanted to learn. Guitar teacher when YouTube now not the best at it, but I enjoy. I enjoy it. I annoy my girlfriend with goofy songs every now and again. So that sounds like a happy life. It sounds like you have a happy life, Beast. We love hearing that. Yeah, man. I think that's the best perception to go into it. Is just like I'm not gonna try to be the best. I just want to keep learning and keep improving. So if you go into that like with that perception, I think it's really, really helpful. But then I also think that like I don't know, is like I can say that like that seems like a really healthy thing to do. I do think it's maybe not healthy, but like it's what I do. I'm not sure. There's momentary bouts of unhealthy obsession. Basically, you always go into it being like, yeah, we're just gonna try our best. We're not gonna have too much expectations, and then you get to a point where you're like, all right. But hypothetically speaking, let's say I dedicate like 8 hours to this a day, and I figured it out, and you're like, oh. And then you have to chill out again because you're getting too obsessed. That happens. BC says, alone, you beautiful bastard. Guys, out of all the instruments that you could learn, what would be the number one instrument? Or just say anything. It could be, we'll throw vocals in there as well. If you could learn anything, what could you learn? I feel like for me, music-wise, I feel like for me it would either be piano, but I honestly think, man, it might be voice. There's a guy who called Jacob Hillier or something like that, or Collier is what his name is, but he does like you never. You don't understand. Hey, you don't understand. The way he can like perfectly match his voice, like as if it's a beautiful instrument, is wild. And hearing like this, it's not operatic singing. It's more just like harmony blending. And the way he does it just makes you go like, what the fuck? And imagine being able to do that for the people you love. Or like you have a kid and you're trying to like lull them to sleep, and you can do that with your voice. You don't have to bust out a fucking big ass guitar or a big ass piano. You can just do that with your fucking vocal range. Wild. Oh yeah, I love the idea of indie weird games on Bro. It sounds fun as fuck. And that would be awesome for like funny videos you could both watch in the background and stuff that starts getting that exactly. I don't use it enough, but it's totally a thing. But where you could like put on your VR headset, be playing a game or be doing something, and then you could have like a floating clear image right in front of you of like a YouTube video or whatever. The issue I have is that if you're gonna do stuff like that, you need to don't cheap out on the visor that goes around your face. Like it needs to be breathable and it needs to be comfortable, because to me that's the issue that most VR things have when you're using it like an application. Like for a while there, Meta was trying to sell like the idea that you're going to use it like a computer, unless they find some sort of, or like they don't cheap out on some sort of material that basically like finds a way to find harmony or balance within your like skin to heat ratio. What's it called? There's like certain like objects like wood that can basically, it's like self-correcting essentially when it comes to temperature and moisture and that stuff. Anyways, that's like a big issue because you're gonna get like sweaty and you're like, all right, I'd rather not. So get a good visor kind of thing that holds it to your face. VR, sorry. I got you. I could get there. Beastie says, dude, there's a guy who can perfectly recreate any song he hears on the piano perfectly, and it was so cool. Well, that's the crazy thing, man. I know a lot of people about like that. It's not like, not sure if it's like perfect pitch, but it's just like they're able to understand the code, the scale, or whatever you want to call it. Harmony and all that stuff, and they're able just to nail it. I've seen people do that with the guitar and all that. The Do is like a really impressive person who can like go by ear and then play it relatively close to what it is. Panda says, I'm so excited to get the Quest 3 in Christmas. The depth sensor camera are such a cool idea for MR. okay, well, I was gonna ask. I want to actually. I'm curious about this, Panda. I guess it depends on what you use the application for. But to me, the depth sensor is neat. It's really neat. But I don't like AR to me is something that I until it gets to the point where you're playing in a video game where you're walking and there's directions, there's an AI voice, which I don't think we're far off, by the way, like an AI voice telling you oh, you want to go over here, take a left here, and it's drawing a line on the ground for you. Maybe it's there's a harsh beam of sunlight smashing into your eyes, and it auto neutralizes that sunlight so it's less harsh. Things like that. That to me is where the AR makes sense. I have seen, and I mean zero, AR applications, augmented reality, whatever you want to call it, that make me feel I need to experience that. Whereas there's been plenty of VR experiences where I'm I'm fully immersed in this crazy world where I get it. But that's the thing that to me I so desperately would have instantly bought the Quest 3 if it had eye tracking. As a person who plays mainly on PC, I deeply want eye tracking on a headset because it just makes the most sense. It also makes sense for the HUD, it makes sense for aiming, it makes sense for every quality of life feature and thing on a headset. It also makes sense for I can't believe if Meta is trying to not have such hardware demanding software, why wouldn't you use the tried and tested at this point where it will only render what your eyeballs are looking at in high quality, so you can have max quality and you won't be able to tell the difference because you can't focus on everything. But yeah, dude, eye tracking to me would have had me instantly buy the Quest despite me not really knowing what the use case is for AR. Not to say that AR is bad, I just can't. I see videos where a person, a brilliant channel called Downloadable Content, brilliant channel called what's his name? I can't think of his name. Mini Battle? I think his name is Mini Battle. Big in the Quest scene for YouTube, for Bone Lab. But anyways, I seen a bunch of their videos showcasing oh, look, I'm running around in my yard and I'm playing in AR, VR. I'm oh my god, that's so cool. But that was me. I think the idea is that that's cool, but for me, I'm I can actually put myself in that situation, and I'm I don't know, man. I feel it'd just be missing the mark a little bit. Also, what's good, Tony? Tony popping in with first time chatter. Hello, love the emotes. Let me catch up on YouTube chat. BC says, dude, there's a guy. Oh, right, do that. Piano. We said, not my speed, but the amount of experience and skill is impressive. Oh yeah, people who've been that's the sad thing about music though. As much as you do want to become proficient in it, it is almost one of those things that feels like it is a race. Where people who've been doing it ever since they were 10 or 8 are just I don't know if it's possible to reach if they've made it's how do I put it? If they've maintained interest, then it does feel like an uphill battle. You can't become as good as someone who is as obsessed from a young age, and their brain has just absorbed all of the crazy things effortlessly. Ooh. Oh, I'm losing chat. Oh god. She hates it. That's cool as fuck. Want to get buff as fuck, and then play the Little Lamb that one YouTube video. But I overall love music and been waiting to find a hobby that can maybe lead to some. Money is tough, man. I mean, granted, I don't know. I feel like if you're wanting to make money from music, I feel and I know nothing, just to be clear, but I feel it has to be through mixing. It has to be by hearing sample sounds and then creating off of that. Because that's where we hear a lot of stuff a SoundCloud rapper or SoundCloud guy makes music and then it pops off really much. But it's there's that weird category of art, struggling artists, you know what I mean? Where it's a weird one to make money in, I guess, I feel you need to make get an AI. Get an AI. I feel you make a killing. B says punching your wall in VR. MC is just a part of the game because become the steel. Oh, I see. You're right. It's just a part. It's true a little bit until you bust your hand enough and you realize, fuck this, this sucks. Hell yeah. You do drums. I hear drums. A lot of musicians who are extremely good they like drums is the foundation that they build everything else off of. What's good, Tony? Tony says, you ever try Ghost of Tsushima Legends? Ooh, man, we played Ghost of Tsushima, and it was so good. It was such a good game, but I never got back into it. It's also hard for me to play a game that, like, I can't think of... I'm a person that has, like, content brain, so whenever I'm playing something and I'm enjoying it, a part of me wants to find an angle of, like, what I could do with this with a video. But, well, simultaneously, my brain's also thinking, is this something I can build a series of videos on? Like, is this something that I can, like, build off of? Like, with Bone Lab, I was like, oh, there's always going to be VR mods, at least for this game, I think. I love them, and I think this game is amazing. So I was like, okay, I can build off of this. Like, why would I not, like, invest? Even if everyone else is doing it, I can have fun here forever, you know? So that's kind of the weird thing where Ghost of Tsushima, I can feel games like that. Same with Elden Ring and all those games. I can feel like there's a finite end to it, and that makes it a little bit rough. Now, granted, maybe you just need to get more creative, and you just need to find the angle, so to speak, but yeah. Panda says, well, I'm going to be lurking. Thank you so much for being here, Panda. I appreciate talking to you. I don't have any people to talk about VR with, so I always appreciate people let me vent. Are you simulcasting? I am. We're doing a Twitch and YouTube stream right now. Sorry. Huh. Lone says, how are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I slept in because that's me being sick for a week, man. Messed up my sleep schedule, and it sucks, man, because I'm trying to do a lot. I'm trying to do a lot of research stuff. Most of my day is doing research, and man, research is a hug. I guess I feel like if there's ever, I think people have in themselves like innate proclivity, essentially. Like this is like your innate talent, or your innate what to you is easy, and to what others may not be so easy. So for me, one of the things I find I can't do, I subconsciously do it all the time forever, and it's almost like a disease. It's like something sometimes I really don't want it to happen, but it does. And that is stories. If I tried my hardest to not think of stories, characters, and all these things, I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. So that's something that's innate within my head. But with that being said, there is also what comes really easy to me essentially as well is like listening to people, like trying to understand people. Like I could spend hours and hours and hours listening to someone ramble. You know, people always make jokes about like my girl spent 20 to fucking 30 minutes talking to me about her dreams, and I'm just out here dying. And I'm like, that sounds wonderful to me. That doesn't sound negative at all. So to me, I guess research is just that, like basically me just like looking at YouTube comments on a video that was really successful and understanding what people really connected with and liked about that video. That stuff is really fun. So I'm happy to get back into that, because sometimes creating stuff is like heavy. Like you have to understand the angle of this. You have to understand what you're trying to provide. You have to understand what you're filming. You have to understand what you're editing. You have to understand what you're doing to pull people back in. You have to understand how you're layering things in terms of the engagement, the music, the sound, the videos. Yeah. Yeah. So it can be a bit. It can be a bit. She hates says, to freestyle, bro, I cannot freestyle for nothing. I used to get flamed by the whole table, lunch table. That's some bulletproof confidence, she hates. You should keep that shit close to your chest. That is, I can't even imagine. You're out here trying to bust a rhyme or whatever, flow with your friends and shit, and random people looking at you. Brutal. I feel myself shrivel as I just think about it for a slight bit. How was your day, Lone? How was your day? Hopefully good. I feel like you got a lot of stuff going on because you've been a little bit late, but we always appreciate having you. She hates says, I had these files where by the way, guys, I am terrible at reading, but it's also very far away, so it's like looking at tiny text, where I just kept going on. I don't know if you count freestyle as a sum of learn, but I practice the bathroom. Yeah, no, anything you practice, any sort of like series of words that can kind of flow together, I feel like, again, I think it's also less about the execution as so much as it is about what people think. Like, so if people are vibing and they're happy and they're like, oh, this is fun, then that's good enough. You don't need to be like the best in the world. You just need to have fun with your friends, essentially. Tony says, what are you researching and why? For me, like a part of it is basically just trying to get better at YouTube. So the main thing is toning a lot. I think of like YouTube data and things like that, like understanding. Like one of the things I learned, which I thought was interesting, maybe not to everyone else, but let me try to describe it. Basically, the thing that's interesting about YouTube is it's trying to find your audience. So the algorithm is constantly trying to find who is this video for, and the more people that it sees watch that video, it'll basically understand who that viewership is, and then try to send it to people who are similar to them. Kind of the whole thing there. Anyways, but one of the things that I went into I had a misunderstanding with is I thought the algorithm was basically wanting you to play one game, and that helps. Playing one game, like if I were to only play Bone Lab on my VR channel, I think the videos would do really well. But there's an issue where, it's not an issue, but there's a thing that I've also seen on other channels where the video subject matter itself is essentially the audience. So like for instance, I seen a video of a person make a fun like VR chat video where he's just basically shooting the shit with his friends, playing Attack on Titan, being a goofball, and it worked really well. But he has another video, which is him playing like this lewd anime game, which is just supposed to be like a goofy, fun, cringe fest kind of thing, of him being like, "Ew, it's too much, too much, I hate it." But both of those people seemingly would have different audiences. Like the comedy Vanos gaming style video is that, and then there's like this anime specific video. But to my surprise, YouTube was able to basically understand both of those types of people. So it like when you're trying to think about who is your audience, it's not about just understanding like what the Bone Lab community, but it's about understanding whatever your initial idea is, what that initial idea encompasses that community. So like if you're covering an anime game and the subject matter, the thumbnail is an anime character or something like that, the main audience for that, even if you had a gaming channel, is going to be anime related. And that's kind of like, it would be significantly easier to realize like, oh, I'm a gaming channel, let's say a VR gaming channel. All I need to do is understand the VR gaming community and understand what they want, what they value, what they like, and then find the balance between what I like and what they like, and then boom, bam, you're good, right? No, you have to understand 50 communities. You have to not just understand the VR community, you need to understand all of the kind of subcategories that are in there. Like, you could play a game that is technically a VR video game, but it's an anime VR video game. And then who is the audience? It's probably mostly anime rather than VR. So that's a different people. Now, luckily, there's like general good, like there's general things that people tend to like across the board, which is nice. But yeah, sorry, I'm probably sure that's too much of an answer, but that's what I was researching. Who the audience is and what they kind of enjoy, because I just want to make better videos, and that's a good way to do it. I've been trying 8 years just to have fun and do it myself, which has worked, but doing it this way is a lot more fun too, because you're actually making something for another person, which feels a little more warm and nice than just doing it by yourself. But yes. Where are you? This. Red says, is the eye tracking still exclusive to PSVR 2? Does Sony have a patent? No. There's other games that have. There's other headsets that have eye tracking. Sony's the only one doing it, which again, it's baffling that they don't. That Meta hasn't done it. Like, it just drives me fucking nuts that they haven't done it. But yeah, there's. Well, first of all, I think there is also, like, for the Half-Life, the index, essentially, there's like a weird thing you can stick inside the VR headset that kind of tracks your eyes. It's mostly for like VR chat, which just has like general eye tracking, not like actual specific eye tracking. But apparently the Pico 5, which is another VR headset's going to have it, or whatever the newest one would be. There's like high-end headsets are starting to have them, which is really nice. But yeah, it's what do you call it? Meta did have eye tracking on their like $1,000, $2,000 headset, and it's not necessarily an expensive thing. So it's strange that they're not doing it. I think it's maybe like it would take the Quest, which is $500 right now, and it would probably make it like $600, which people would be like, that's too much money, you know. So I think they're trying to stay underneath what essentially PlayStation's headset is, just because they know that like people are going to choose the lesser, even though technically it's more, because you have to have a console to have it as well. But if you already have the console, then I guess it's not that bad. I feel the freestyle is hard as hell, but you can learn it My brother really good at getting a good flow going. Yeah. I've seen people do it too. I feel like also I've seen a lot of people do it to where I feel like it's not quite as like if you've seen your friend basically bust out like perfect harmony and just like sort of jumping between like high pitch, low pitch, high pitch, and like perfectly descending in those vocal lines. I feel like that'd be like god damn, rather than him do like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like we've seen a lot of like people out here rapping essentially, or flowing, you know what I mean? It's not quite the novelty ever since the whole I feel like we've had a rap boom ever since SoundCloud and shit like that. Yeah, my friend raps, and he's also concerned and stuff in like actually succeeding somewhat, but due to some problems I should get into, we haven't been talking. Got it. I see what you mean. Yeah, but it's good that he's get. Hopefully things work out. But honestly, I have not one clue on like making beats or none of that. Well, yeah, but I feel like I don't feel like anyone has a clue about doing a guitar. Like I feel like eventually, I feel like learning how to like have a song come into existence is easier than knowing how to play. Not easier. It's not the wrong way to say it. It's probably not easier. But I feel like knowing the composition of music and knowing like this should happen here and this is how I do this is to me more valuable maybe than learning a singular instrument, if your goal is to maybe also make some money on it. Because I think you can also like imagine how easy it is to find a person who knows how to play guitar. Okay, now granted, why do you need to play guitar for live performance? Do you want to fly around the world and play guitar? Yeah, maybe it also sounds nicer than it actually would be. Granted, I feel like every single musician ever would need somebody who understands how to mix music, who would understand how someone to piece things together, to give them a different approach on a song that they've already made. I feel like that's a much more like, you could totally find work on doing that. In fact, I think that's one of the things that's, but I think you also need to be the kind of person, like if you're around, I'm not sure how old you are right now, she hates, but I feel like if you're around 14, 16, maybe 18, and you really go into like understanding how those programs and systems work, I feel like that's your brain just gonna suck all that up like a sponge. That's my thought, at least. That's how it was for me with editing. Like I know crazy depths of editing complexity at this point. I started when I was 14, just self-learning, and I was interested in it because I actually liked creating something. So like it also helps that you want to create a song, like you want to create a music, a background of something. Otherwise, you're going to have no reason to use the tool that you're trying to understand, you know? But also, starting with guitar is not bad at all. It's one of those weird things where I feel like if I were to, if it was my friend and he was asking me, I'd be like, man, I feel like you should learn how to mix music. I feel like it's also like an endless puddle of learning, essentially, like an endless depth of learning, rather than a guitar, who I feel like you'd find out, you become competent, and then you'd like experience what I think Bolty was talking about, where you can become competent within probably like a 3-year time span maybe, but then it takes like maybe 20 years to become like fucking absurdly good, and that's like it just flatlines, you know. Whereas I think this mixing music would be a consistent, it's okay progression. It's okay progression, but it's getting there. I also feel like it'd be one of the things where you could learn as you're making money. So I feel like you don't need to be like the best to be able to like fulfill a job, to be like an assistant to a mixer and things like that. I think I may be talking my ass here, but yeah. But honestly, I have not one clue of making beats or something like that. But I love guitar. I've been looking into a lot of rock and stuff recently. So yeah, since I've been going, well, hopefully whatever you've been going through works out. She hates. I'm sorry to hear that. It's unfortunate. It seems like good people be suffering. That's not fair. But life's not fair. But I'm happy that you're still here and trucking on, especially finding a new hobby that can be meaningful, which is good. She hates says wanted to heal with the music. Yeah, that's a good. I have a lot of people talk about that. Where you find like an outlet, whether it's exercise or video games or socializing in some way, that kind of stuff that helps kind of mend your stressful, broken, painful mind. Also, Tony says, you think Let It Die 2 will ever come out? I think so. It seems like they've been working on it. I'm sure it won't be called Let It Die 2. I'm sure it'll be called like Let It Die maybe, hopefully it's called Let It Die 2. I think it'd be a good, because I don't know how, like, I don't know if they'll survive another pivot like this, where they're basically changing whole new engines. But yeah, I hope it works out. I think it will come out eventually. I think it might be like a year from now, though, which is not a shitty answer to that question. But yeah. Red says, I do wish you played more long series gameplay on the channel, like for example Spider-Man 2 or something, from start to finish, for multiple episodes. Yeah, I know. It's funny because like I'm like I would love that, but we tried that for like a couple months and it was not good. It was not good. I mean, meaning like it was just it was really hard for any viewership to continue. It seemed like because like unless you're a part of the journey, a lot of people feel like it's like the same thing with a Let's Play. Like would you watch a Let's Play at part 40? Probably not. You know what I mean? Granted, that's why some streamers basically stream for like 8 hours and they just like grind through like 80%. So it's like 3 streams basically. It's like 3 streams of the game. Which that one is a little bit like it makes more sense to me. Where like if you were to be like, okay, we're gonna like full send this video game that we're all really excited for, maybe. But I put myself in the headspace of like a person who watches those types of videos. I can't see them really. Like I could see how many problems that they'd have. Like I feel like you'd fall into that category of Let's Player, which I feel like so many Let's Players fall into, which is like, oh, I'll watch it eventually. Oh, I'll watch it. I'll watch it this weekend. And then you watch something else, and you're like, I'll watch it next weekend, and at the point it's dead. You're not watching it. So yeah. But again, it's weird because I do think there are moments in streams where you should like follow trends and do something like that tries to capture people's attention, and then you should go into like just fun hibernation mode almost, where you're just playing like whatever you want. Like I know a lot of people play a lot of JRPGs in that time when there's nothing really going on as far as trends or big events going on, you know. Jade says, sorry, I didn't mention to change the subject from games to me. No, it's all good. We talk about anything. This is our Saturday stream, Shades. We can talk about literally anything and everything. Not everything. But we're going to have a lot of stuff. Ugh. Ah, my knee. Noah says, my day was good. And yeah, I've been slacking, coming in and late, but I'm here. Yeah, no, again, don't ever feel bad for being late, Lone. I just always hope life is not treating you too unkindly. Because I do feel like you do a lot. You do a lot of stuff in terms of like your job and your family and the whole thing and then the whole drawing thing. It's just a lot to manage. I hope you're taking time for yourself to breathe, you know. Also, if there's ever something shitty happening in your life, tell us. It'd be nice to kind of vent to someone, I think. BC says, facts. Oh, before that, Lone says, but Grin, have you been watching any anime? Did you start the Duke of Death? I did start, again, I told you this at the VR stream, where I was basically kind of complaining, where I have this issue where I'll be like, okay, there's a new season of an anime I really enjoyed, let me go watch it. So then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go watch it. But then I get one episode, or I'm like, I think this way. I think, okay, there's a season 2. Okay, well, I'm going to go back and watch, like, the highlight reel of the first season. So I'm like, okay, there was this cool moment. I remember, let me go watch it. I think it was cool. I watched it, like, that was awesome. Happy I watched it. And then you basically jump through this series of only, like, sniping the episodes where, like, you remembered a specific moment that you thought would be cool to see again. For me, if it was ReZero, it would be like, I want to see the moment where Rem and the one dude are on the fucking balcony talking. Want that. I want the fucking moment where the goddamn, the old butler man fucking it's like basically preaches how much he loves his wife. I want that moment. I want the moment where you're in the cave and Rem's fucking like giving it's great. Those are all the moments I want. The last one we sounded sus, but anyways, then you jump into season 2 essentially. But that's what I like to do. But then I ended up watching like episode 1 of the Duke of Death, and I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna watch the whole season again. So I'll watch season 1 into season 2. So I'm gonna be behind again, Lone. But I've watched episode 1 and 2, and it's great. And I might start skipping when it starts getting a little bit laggy. But I just remember that show, the Duke of Death, the anime, is so good about like story pacing, where it just makes you fall into like the music, this, like, it's slow. It's not a fast show. It's slow. But the way that they handle the music, the atmosphere, the sound, and like the moments, all these things, it makes you just feel like you sink into this story and this romantic, smushy, lovey-dovey kind of thing. And then they cook you with some interesting weird shit, like this guy just nukes a tree with his touch because he's basically death. You're like, damn. So no, I watched 2 episodes of the first season, and I'll get to the second season eventually. Hopefully I'll make some ground, but I'm also trying to make sure I do some more research stuff so I don't get lost. BC says, facts, SoundCloud rappers are a whole different kind of rapper. Anybody could be one if they just put in the time. Yeah, maybe. I also, yeah, I feel like you have to have like an angle and stuff like that, but I agree to some extent. I don't want to be too mean, but yeah, you're right. You did better. You're right. You did better at convincing me than my friend. But I'm 17. Honestly, have been thinking I'd be a bit. I can learn both because I can learn stuff. Yeah. If you're passionate and you're obsessed and you like fall into that, absolutely learn as much as you can. It's one of the things that, like, again, I think most people, like, if you were to ask a wise man what he wants for like a wish that wouldn't be too much to like break the world, I think most people would be like, I wish I could go back to when I was 16, not because I want to relive like goofy moments with my friends, although that would be nice. I just don't want to waste the time. I feel like it's almost like if you could just have one start over. I wouldn't take anything for granted. I would, yeah, it's like this weird moment of like, yeah, but also the only condition I would have to have is that I'd have to have the brain that I have currently going back. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, I feel like there's always this deep want to go back in time to like not waste, it's not even wasting your youth, because I think a lot of people are like, nah, I loved hanging out with my friends. I think there's just a part of you who's like, man, if only I knew what I knew now. Also, all of us would be like, it's just like the best wish, because it doesn't sound too much. It kind of sounds romantic in a way. Like, oh, you want to go back and try again? That's nice. You want to do better? Great. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I know. And this is, hey, if anyone somehow there's some sort of Orwellian god who for some reason doesn't fucking ruin you, because yeah, if you do go back in time, invest in. I think it's Domino's. Is it Domino's? What's like the biggest pizza chain? There's Pizza Hut, and there's another fucking thing that I can't think of. It's the other one, but it's equally. Anyways, no stock in the history of ever. I think maybe not ever, but you think people would think, oh, if I go back in time, I invest in Google. If I go back in time, I invest in Apple. All these things. There is no stock that is appreciated more than that pizza chain that just popped off. I think it's like 2,000%. It's absurd. So just dump all your money in there, and you'll be good. Just don't fuck up it. In fact, dump all your money in there. Only don't affect other things. Don't go for the woman you love because you can fuck up the timeline. Just coast, okay? Play some more video games, read some more books, enjoy the time, learn some shit, and then as soon as you get the bag, you fucking do whatever you want. Fuck this world. But yes. Lone says, we tried that for God of War Dead Island. He said, yeah, we did the whole Let's Play thing, which again, I don't dislike. Like, again, hypothetically, say we're able to make something happen, and I'm able to do X, Y, Z, maybe I just give up, and I try to make a business, and it doesn't fail, shockingly, or something, and we make enough money where we could, like, basically do two things, like, have fun streaming, and then, like, work the job, essentially. That would be great. I'll always think I prefer to make videos, because I just like catering an experience, essentially. But yeah, like if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would totally just be the most selfish person ever and just like do Let's Plays and hang out with you guys all day and just fucking vibe. But unfortunately, money and life is a ticking clock, essentially. And money is the race, essentially, and I'm losing, essentially. Yeah. But yeah, I shouldn't say I'm losing. I don't regret anything. I'm having an amazingly wonderful time, so I don't want to make it sound like that either. But yeah. I'm not expecting any life-changing thing with getting into music, but I still think it would hurt. No, I think it's best to kind of to just focus on improving and to be open to the fact that there could be opportunity around you. Like that's I think the biggest thing is like one of the opportunities that I kick myself for doing or for missing. Is I had a perception of myself when I was growing up where I feel like I very much was not the kind of person that could do anything slightly above average, like a slightly incredible. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I just always thought like, that seems like it's not for me. Like it's too much. It's something only amazing people could do. It's happened with video games. It happened with everything where I only played games that were like kind of not very difficult. Like I never played an open world game because I always thought it'd be just too much. It'd be too hard to handle and do, especially when I was younger. Anyways, I eventually I took it was like a thing in my high school where a guy came forward and did like a presentation essentially. And I was like I was always good about school, about like giving people respect and like nourishing people's time and importance, like making sure people know that I recognize that they don't have to be here, all that stuff, and like building them up, basically, that kind of stuff. So I did that in all my classes, and that's 90% of how I passed school. I was just nice to people who were always getting shit on because kids are evil, essentially. And yeah, people took pity on me, and they were generous and all that stuff. Anyways, there's this guy who did this survey or presentation, and he was a game developer. And I asked him, I was basically like, yeah, man, I have this like learning disability, which is true. I can absorb things quickly, but then I basically lose them instantaneously as well. So I can learn fast, but my brain throws away the information immediately. So I was like, I have this learning disability. I'm behind when it comes to math and all that stuff. That's a big part about gaming, right? That like massive complexity within engines. I probably couldn't, be a game designer and developer, right? And he's like, no, absolutely you can. You could just model characters if you wanted. You could be a person who comes up with story design and things like that. There's tons of stuff. He actually gave me his email and said like, hey, if you're interested in actually pursuing this like career, let me know. Like I would love to help you because I tell him how much I love video games, how much I understand the variables that take place, and he was impressed with the fact that he knew I wasn't just like I want to play Call of Duty all day. Like that's not what gamers do. It's like complicated software stuff. Anyway, so he gave me that email and I never fucking did it because I just thought I'd probably be nice, and I think that would be a future I would have quite enjoyed. I know there's a lot of stuff within game design that is extremely taxing and exhausting and all those things, but you're still creating a world and you're still working with people to do that. Granted, I know there's a lot of like heft within game design. I feel like it's just going to exhaust you how brutal those people have it, which is, yeah, but anyways. I'm not exactly expecting any lunch. Lone says, if we also guys, just in case you're new here, we're not super delayed with the chat. It's just that because it's our Saturday stream is basically my time to basically just hang out with you guys. So I don't want to leave anyone's comment behind, so I just read top to bottom. So I'm scrolling. It's not that the chat is like massively delayed, it's just that I'm not trying to leave anyone behind, so be patiently. Sorry. Yeah. What's good, Creepy? Creepy says, sup, you're nothing but creepy. Hopefully have a lovely day, Creepy. Lone says, if we talk about anything during these streams, the channel would have been gone a long time ago. Yes. Well, I tend to talk about anything, usually. Like, yeah. There are some things that I just think, like, there's no way that, like, this could be a positive interaction. It's almost like if you just seen someone seethingly angry and you're like, yeah, let's go talk to them. It's like, well, no. Oh, no. How about we don't? How about we just leave that person alone and, yeah. Not sure if you saw my comment about how I finished I seen you say you finished Magic Muscle. I said I can't believe you're just chewing through anime. That was another one that I have on the list, which is probably a good one to watch after the Duke of Death, because yeah, it's like just enough to not be like overly so. Like sometimes you watch a show and you're like, oh, it's a bit much, but that one just seems like the right frequency that I'm looking for after the Duke of Death. Red says, attracting more young people. I see GRINN. Lol. Man, I feel old in this community. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know what's hilarious? Can you guys guess the age demographic for both of my channels? Mind Palace of Madness and, let's say, GRINN. GRINN's the one that I have a lot higher subscriber count, which is what the demographic is going off of a little bit. Can you guys guess? I was baffled. I also think that there's a higher probability for people who are younger, who grew up in the age of Facebook, Twitter, and just digital communication, to be the kind of people to comment. So it's oftentimes a weird skewed metric in that regard. But anyways, to my surprise, my demographic is actually between the age of 25 to 35, which is wild. That's where like 60% of my audience is. And then I have like, I think I have 17 to 24, I think it is. Which is basically, I think, like 25%, and then I have like some people who are pushing the 35, past 35. But I was still surprised. I was like, yeah, we got grown ass adults. I also think, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like, what is it that makes you both I want to say attractive, because attractive means like, ooh, you're interested in them, or sexually interested in them. Attraction meaning like you find them magnetic, I guess. What is it about that, a personality, that makes you magnetic, or what is it about your speech, or what is it about the words that you use that makes you like not enjoyable to listen to in any way from a younger audience, from a older audience? I don't know. It's tough. I'm not sure. Also, I forgot Subred, hi Lone, Sub-Multi, Beastie, long time no see. Lone says, Domino's, Popeye, no, it was Domino's, I think it was Domino's. If you guys go back in time, all right, if you get teleport back in time or something, invest in Domino's. Right around 2012 is when you'll have a fucking absurd investment spike. That's when they start to basically get into digital marketing, and fuck, did they explode. Especially from where they were. So Domino's is your ticket. You're sure if you could throw, ideally you would also spend some money. I thought too much about it. Ideally you would throw some money in some like bullshit things as well, so you don't just get sniped for being a time traveler or some shit. You do like maybe a little bit into Google, maybe not Apple. You do a little bit in Apple, and then you would just fucking work a shitty job and just throw money at random bullshit, just random businesses that you know are gonna likely fail, just so that your record isn't. You become a billionaire and you fucking hit both of the marks you put on the stock. She hates says, I'm feeling that for some reason me and my mom had financial problems, and I've took the streets, but 16 was thankful, but not too far, and stopped it, and feel like I've wasted a lot. Yeah, but I feel like everyone feels that way. She hates. That's one of the things that I feel like people shouldn't get too cruel with themselves. Is that I think it is such a unifying, unfortunate thing in life that everybody, I think, feels like they are losing the race. Like, and social media has just made this, like, social media has a lot of positive things to it. I'm not one of the people that like want to just doom and gloom and only focus on the negative aspects of what essentially is infinite human connection. But social media has made this extremely difficult, where it's like the only parts that people show with you, if you've heard this before, is the positive parts. It's not even just that. It's the fact that it kind of creates this data set in the background of your mind about when you ought to be doing things. When you're behind, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you don't even have a girlfriend. What are you doing? It's like this spiral. You don't have money. That guy has money. That guy didn't waste his childhood. All of these things. I spent my time doing XYZ when I could have been doing XYZ. But I think it's just a human thing where everyone has an innate thing. And I thought about this a little bit, which is there's an existence of a person out there who did every single thing right. They didn't waste any of their childhood. They invested in work a lot. They did the whole thing, and then they end up putting a bullet in their skull because they're miserable. So it's just a complicated mess of like, what is the true thing that determines a good life? And the one thing, with all the thought that I've tried to think about it and all that stuff, some people come up with family. I get it. That sounds beautiful. Family is a brilliant thing. People talk about money, being able to take care of the people that you love and people who are around you. All of these things, I get it. At the same time, I also think those things, it's almost like saying, it's a stupid question, like it's a stupid answer, sorry. So if I say, what is the most important thing for you to live a good life? And you say, family. I'm like, well, isn't it joy? Or isn't it like happiness? Shouldn't it be happiness be the thing? You just mentioned an act or an achievement, which is not that it's not good, but it's just that the core of what you're looking for is happiness, joy, fun, whatever you want, that kind of thing. Meaning, maybe. So to me, the one thing that I always feel like is the thing that you should, and this is something that you should look back on, and there's 2 metrics I think that you should look at your life by, and it'll help you realize that you're not actually losing any race. This maybe is skewed from a person who's losing the race, subjectively, or not subjectively, sorry. People could perceive me as losing a race or not going far enough, and I'm sure people could do that for you as well, even if you're an extremely high achiever, because there's always someone who's done more and all that stuff, right? But to me, the 2 things that kind of balance out your life are, one is, do you have something that you are trying to achieve? The devil calls it ambition, this sin of conquest, of trying to attain something, of sacrificing years and years of your life for something that in your head, for some reason, you find meaning in. This is what you're already embarking on. She hates. You're finding something that to you could possibly have meaning. You're gonna start to cut away hours and hours in life, essentially, in pursuit of that thing. The issue with just having this one metric to guide your life, though, is that you'll always keep pushing the goalpost. You'll basically always keep having a new goal. So as soon as you're about to achieve the goal that you just worked so hard for, in order to not feel the crushing weight of maybe the goal that you thought was going to make you happy doesn't actually make you happy, in order to not feel that, you'll just make a new goal. And you'll just keep doing that until you're like 80 years old and you realize, I'm fucking just as miserable. I spent 80 years trying to get happy and I'm just as miserable as I ever was. That's not good. You don't want that either. But it's good. It's something human in you that needs to pursue something, needs to have an ambition, something that you're willing to sacrifice your life to. The second thing that I think balances out the first thing is fun. This is one of the things that if you were to die today, if you were to die today, would you look back and think, yeah, that day was awesome. I made time to laugh with my friends. I made time to watch a stupid fun video. I had fun. I had a fun day. I had a fun life. I had time where I slowed down and I made sure that I had fun. This equilibrium, people talk about what do you call it? I think it's in Buddhist philosophy of the yin and the yang, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know about all that shit. I'm just talking about this. This balance of needing to have a fun and meaningful life, whilst also having something that you were willing to sacrifice your life to. But it's just simple. I like the idea, or the way it's phrased, of just fun, because it's just easy, it's simple, it could be whatever you want, but it's important to acknowledge that it's something that is just pure joy for you. If you basically live your life to only have fun, then you're just gonna you just do a shit ton of mushrooms and heroin, then die tomorrow and be like, hey, it was pretty fucking lit when I got all the serotonin juices in my brain firing off all at once. So you need that balance. But as far as being behind in the race, if you can answer those 2 questions and say, did I pursue something that I determined was meaningful, a goal and ambition, and then the other question being, did I also have fun? And based on those 2 metrics, I think you're moving forward plenty enough. One of the things that also helps set me free a little bit, she hates, is basically the sentence, just because something is your happiness doesn't mean it's other people's happiness. Just because somebody had their life got changed when they married their wife and they had their kids, that doesn't necessarily mean that will happen for you. It could, but it also doesn't necessarily mean it can. Same thing with when you get, maybe there's a guy who could get a promotion and just have his whole life change. There's another guy who get a promotion and feel fucking nothing. So that's extremely important to also understand, I think. You're the race of life, there isn't a race, it's just you. It's you, and it's a metric of how much can you have fun in the pursuit of achieving something, as well as how much fun can you just have with whatever you find meaning in. Because that's the complicated thing for me a little bit, man. And I don't know what to do with that, but again, I've seen people all my life basically look down on people for experiencing or for not sharing the same joy as someone else, and they judge them poorly. Oh, you haven't you haven't gotten this promotion, and they look down on them. But maybe that guy would have been not anywhere as happy, anywhere as meaningful of an existence if he did get the promotion. But it does give him a lot of meaning? Every week he gets together with his friends and he plays D&D. And some of you say is nerdy, some of you say it's a waste of time. He could die tomorrow and say, I would live the same life I already lived because it was that fun, it was that meaningful, it was that enjoyable. And you would die with so much monstrous regret. So I think both of those are the things that balance each other out. But it's a good rule of thumb to not judge other people's happiness and like state in life in general. Anyways, that was just a fun little thought process time. BC says, yo! She Hates says, honestly, I am the exact same dude, which is why I always come back to your streams. You say stuff, and I usually always can relate. Yeah, well, I feel like, again, I don't feel like I'm pretty much I'm an everyman. I'm not, I don't feel, I should say I'm the everyman. I'm sure there's like a appeal of, but the point is that I feel like I'm a layman. Like, I mean, that's not a bash at you. That just means that I think I experience, I'm like a gauge of the masses, I think. Like, largely when I see a movie, I'm like, I like it. And then it does really well financially. And I'm like, that makes sense. But then critics hate it. And I'm like, well, but yeah, it's a fun movie. What do you mean? But yeah, I do my best to think through things, but I'm definitely not up there. BC says 80-20. Wow, yeah, I was surprised. I thought sometimes I get a little childish, but I think it also maybe because I'm cussing a lot, and then YouTube hates that, so they're like, yeah, let's stick it to a older demographic. That's not good. Well, it says Magic and Muscles was good. I finished it. Spent the day. MK Mash is kind of like a combination of some of the other main characters. Okay, I'm excited to see what he's all about then. Deserved Domino's slaps. What? Deserved? I don't know what deserved is. I don't know. As much as I love Pizza Hut, it's greasy as hell. But I think I prefer Pizza Hut, even though it gives me like the worst heartburn you could possibly imagine. Their wings suck. Guys, I found out this the other day. To my surprise, what do you call it? I can't believe it, but that's not that surprising. I don't know why. I just stalling because I lost my thought. I always don't want to tell you guys how much I'm a fan of this place, because I think it's different in America, and it's also different in our town. Kind of fucking bubble in my chest. It's a Harvey's. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, but they have like, I'm not sure if they have a deal with like a butcher in town, but their chicken nuggets at Harvey's is fucking, oh my god. I've never bitten into a chicken nugget with like the crust is not, it's just like thick ass crust on that chicken nugget batter. You know what I'm talking about? Lumpy and shit, crispy. And the chicken tastes the most chicken I've ever tasted ever. I'm even talking about this chicken that we ordered from the store. It tastes like some. I didn't realize there was a quality of meat thing. Like I've never had. I don't like. It's kind of like Aspen Gold. I don't want to have expensive taste. I want to keep it normal. But that chicken tasted fucking like, I can't even believe it. Like, you'd eat the chicken and just be happy. That's wild. Anyway, Also, Michael Rice says, love the name, says, ready for Let It Die update? Was there any news, Michael? Any news for the Let It Die update, or is it just another update that we've already experienced because it's on an update cycle? Because yeah, if that's the case, then no, because I've already experienced it for 2 years going. But yeah, I'm happy you're excited. He reminds me of Irma. Ooh, no way. He reminds me of Irmika because of how kind he is and how he cares about his friends with the overpoweredness of Mob. No way. I didn't expect it to be that beefy. We start popping off and he can be as dense as whatever harem MC comes to my damn. You were selling it to me until that last leg of the race. But I find it's hilarious actually. Irmika Like, to me, he's a character that I would Welcome to Demon School anime, Irmika. He's a character that to me makes so much sense for him being like naive. Like, out of all the characters that like is hopelessly ignorant about like people's love for him and things like that, it makes sense if you know like his backstory about like how he has just had a skewed relationship with his parents, and like he was working since he was 2, essentially, like horrible existence, all that. And his just overall demeanor is like, I don't even think he knows what sex is. You know what I mean? I think he just knows like people I care about, I love, and I want to just take care of them and nurture them as much as I can. But then they pop off in the 2nd season, and he goes on a date with Amari, and you're like, oh no, he knows. He's a man. He's popping off. He's not like a little bitch. And I'm like, this is crazy that Irmika beat all of you, and he looks like the softest boy you've ever seen in your life. Okay, wild. He literally looks like it's arguable. He's like the whole Alstoffel thing. He could be a woman. He could be a woman. All right. But anyways, on that topic, yeah. It's unfortunate that there's always the like dense main protagonist. Although I'm not sure if I like. Again, I've seen manhwa or like manga and manhwa where the main character is not dense, and he just has a bunch of women slobber on his knob, and it's not good. It's not good. It's equally as like, well, now you're just gross. Like, it's just like, and these women have fucking no respect for themselves. Like, it's awful. And none of them do a good job about, like, maybe the main character, like, saves their life constantly. You know, maybe there's, like, this thing of, like, no, maybe the world itself is so violent and terrible that they're like, you know what? I'm betting all on this character because it's bad out here. And at least I can understand the situation. None of that. It's just like, yeah, for no reason, you're special. And I don't know why. The older I get, the more I know that, like, the manga guy, his perception of me who's reading the material is not, he's not trying to showcase cool personalities, which you can sometimes find in a harem archetype, which me and Lone talk about and like. But instead, it's just like, oh, you want to feel important and special? And I'm just like, just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me. I don't know, look down on me. One says, the way I look at it is a day without laughter is a day wasted. And I don't mean laughter in the literal sense. Yeah, did like joy and all that stuff. I see what you mean. I don't know, man. The issue though with just having like laughter and joy, it's a good metric. I just find like I don't want people to be caught in like a loop that they can't, that also doesn't provide, like, so for instance, one of the things I just said, what I really like to say is, again, don't, just because something is your happiness does not mean it's other people's happiness. So just because you found meaning in pursuing a financial career does not mean another person would find value in pursuing a financial career. Maybe, this is what I always had to tell people when I was growing up, I am on cloud 10 when I am in my room making a video, editing, having fun like that. Ever since I was a child, I've been on YouTube ever since I was 14, making videos. And everyone used to always be like, oh, you should be partying when you're 16, 18, whatever it was. And I was always like, I don't know, man. I wasn't ignorant to them. I would be like, okay, I'll try. So I do. I went out and I tried, and I was like, yeah, it's not that I hate this. It's just like, that is like bliss for me. I feel like it's meaningful, it's fun, I create something, it's people can interact with it and absorb it or not absorb it. All of that's wonderful. So yeah, to me, as much as I stand by that idea, I also think it's important for you to keep trying to experience life. And I feel like if your baseline for experiencing life is like laughter, joy, fun, so the way I always like to describe it is fun. Are you having fun? If that's your only metric to balance yourself out, then you're just, I could see people basically just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit and play video games all day, which is not a bad existence, but maybe, just maybe, you would meet a woman and you'd be like, dude, my baseline for happiness was like 1, and I thought it was 10, but it's 1. And after experiencing, like, hanging out with this person, this just human being, I realized there's a limit of 1,000. Like, you just reached a different level of fun, of laughter, of joy. So I think it's important to also put yourself in pursuit of something that forces you to experience something slightly new. And I think ambition is the best thing that does that. whether that's you trying to reach for a goal, whatever it could be, trying to learn a new skill, you wanting to do a feat, whether it's like get fit or something. All that stuff is, I think, a good recipe. But laughter is also, again, I think, a really important thing for sure. She says, yes, I like that. Thanks for sharing your view. TBH, that's way better than what my past self viewed overall. Life I've recently had. Just you slowed down and actually sat and actually thought about. Yeah. Well, again, that's something that's like all the stuff I'm talking about is a how do I put it? Is a luxury, I guess. Like some people have such a brutal lot in life where as soon as they turn like 14 or something, their parents kick them out and all these things, which is just extremely, I can only imagine how painful and difficult that could be to like experience the world when you're not even close to being ready for it. I'm not sure if you're ever really ready for it, but anyways, there's definitely luxuries to be able to think about those kinds of things, which those people don't get, which again is also why it's just good not to judge people, and it's even more important, I think, not to judge yourself too poorly, too harshly, I should say, because yeah. Red says, let me guess, the Let It Die update is just another addition to the stupid TDM. Hey, that's something for some people. She Hates says, I used to be what you called a negative Nancy. Yeah, I would call it. I feel like a cynical person, I think. I never had a gift of thinking positively due to the way I lived. You can probably tell but I'm just starting to see. Actually, what do you call it? You're doing an amazing job, She Hates, because I've seen you as nothing but an extremely positive person. You haven't spread. I think there's two types of people. One to me is significantly more harsh. One is a person who basically thinks critically constantly, like criticizes the world constantly, but they don't necessarily like share that to other people, which is extremely nice. But then there's people who like basically criticize and they need to kind of like unload their despair, their hatred for the world, their hatred for everything. They dump it on another person. That is brutal. Those people are extremely hard to deal with. But you, from all I've seen, have been nothing but like a person who's just trying to figure it out, which is what every single person here is. And it's also good not to be too it's good to look at things honestly. I think narcissism goes a little bit farther, where it's like you're looking at the worst possible angle of anything, which is just going to leave you fucking in a nightmarish world. I think the goal is to see the best part of the world while simultaneously also trying to be honest with yourself about the reality of the world, which I'm sure you've had beat over your head, so you don't need any positive reminders. It's funny because I think a lot of people start off on one side of the lever. Like some people start off with being sorry for the dogs, by the way. Some people start off being like extremely optimistic and positive, and then they get thrown into life and they get kind of beaten down and realize, okay, as much as I do love people, I also am fully aware that people can be extremely cruel, and I've learned that this year, this month, this life, whatever. But then there's other people who are born on the other side of the spectrum of like, no, people can be awful. Like I grew up with a dad that did drugs or whatever their reason could be, or a mother that wasn't very kind. All of those things. So they started like way despair levels, and then they kind of learned that like, oh, I had a good friend, and that friend like showed me that you can trust people, you can actually bet on people. They believed in me. They were interested in what I was talking about. All those kind of things. So I think most people find themselves on a different goalpost. I think I was lucky enough to be on the happy train, and then I just acknowledged that there's a lot of shit and despair constantly because of my dad. Not my dad, it wasn't the source of it. My dad was just the constant, like, you should always be grateful because you could, it's funny, everyone was told the same thing, but like, you should always be grateful for the food you're eating because there's a kid in Africa that would be extremely happy to have this food. But in my dumb head, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, what if I had to eat like awful, rotting XYZ kind of food? It was terrible. Why shouldn't I be grateful for this? So it's kind of like that balance. But I think it's a weird mix of like your upbringing and also luck. Like, are you just lucky enough to find one human being, one self-help book, one stranger, one video, one anything that knocks you maybe possibly in the direction of something that's not so harsh and despair-ridden, you know? Lone says, Grin! He's so strong. What? Grin, he's. Oh, I see. The Grin in the Magic and Might and Magic, or Magic and Muscles anime. Lone says, Grin, he's so strong that he makes magic look so lame. Like the guy out here deflecting magic spells with his bare hand. I would say that's tough. Because isn't like, do they neuter magic a little bit in the thing? Also, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving over to good old memes. Meme time. Sure, we'll go with that one. Do 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 do. Alone says you defeated the bear. Yeah, but do they like the wizards? Also, hello, Lone on Twitch. Panda says hi, Lone. Hi, Syndicate. Yeah, Lone has been over at YouTube side thing, popping in. Oh, you hydrate. Lone's using them points. Now that we're simul streaming, I should rip all of the channel points I gave to you guys. What's good, Rasta? Ugh, tea is just the best. It's so good. Rasta, how are you, Rasta? I got this fucking rash and it won't go away. I'm using this weird like dandruff cream. Don't ask. It's like apparently doctor said it's got like an agent in it that's good. Names. Ha. Ah, my eye. All right, Steve Loggins. All right. I'm not like the other girls. She winks. Neither am I. I giggle. What self-respecting man giggles in front of a woman? Okay. All right. Both of us remove our trench coats, revealing 4 raccoons stacked under each other. No, not again! The waiter cries, grabbing a broom. All 8 of us snatch as many breadsticks as our tiny arms will hold, bundling out the back door. What? Bolting out the back door, and on our hind legs. Chattering in the night sky. Are you a raccoon? Oh, got it. There's no woman. It's just 2 raccoons in a trench coat. 2 mounds of raccoons in a trench coat. Okay, why are they speaking? There's so many questions. Anyway, what? What? Took a little while for this. Didn't have to reach my brain, but Jesus Christ. Ugh. God. Are we okay to hit go on this? I just seen a bunch of sex text words. What? Don't ask. Why? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with our community? What is all this? Oh, we got. I don't know what that scene is from at all. I don't know what that is at all, but I just know we shouldn't stay on it for a while. Pit bulls on their way to detach. Don't you fucking hurt pit bulls. Pit bulls are lovely, alright? Kenobi series episode 8 fight was like. Is it muted? Oh, it's not muted. I'm so sorry if that was so loud. Oh shit. I'm not sure how many we should watch. I'm kind of when it comes to videos, I'm very scared that like, 'cause I feel like it's very missable. That like there could be a dick just right in there. I'm like, no. Don't mute it. What is it? Me taking an absolute. Okay. You need help. You need help, Kona. Is this too much? I gotta check just so it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Is it okay? Is this a Leonardo like a young woman? It's fine. It's fine. Alright, hi. Sorry, that was a lot. Oh, she hates, but I can go on and on about stuff, so I'm gonna put myself on time out and stop commenting. You can keep talking, that's fine. I don't. If you want a break, I feel like, hey, if it's a challenge, you gonna stop talking, I'm gonna stop talking. Guess who's gonna win? You. But I'll make a good effort. I love people. I love talking to people. I love hanging out with people, but I also get exhausted. Not exhausted. I just get drained. Like, I wish I didn't. I wish I could just keep. I wish I was an introvert and just get energy. I know that's not how that works. Red says, Grin, I sent you the update info on Let It Die. It seems to offer things other than just TDM update. Okay, I'm not sure if we'll cover it even if I do it. I'm not sure if we're jumping back into Let It Die. All right, it's an endless abyss that makes me feel hollow. I love the people who enjoyed it, but God, fuck. It is... Am I okay? I don't have Twitter on not save search. Let's not try to look at the comments. I wish I could... Oh, I can. This. Okay, will the layout of the meme thing work? Maybe? It worked perfectly, the crop. It's okay, actually. It's not great. All right, our roadmap is October had the pumpkin things. The pumpkin things are not new, but yay, pumpkins. TDM Battle Rush Season 20. $25. Why are we still talking about this? Why do so many people keep coming in here and liking this game? It's like fucking 7 years old. Set me free. New quests, they're not new. It's just like, hey, go here, kill this. It's not new. It's not gonna, if it is new, it's not gonna have anything new for you. It's just gonna be metal or a fucking bag. November, we get an uncapped event. Okay. December. What the fuck? Nothing's new. Nothing's new here. What's new? What is new, Red? There is nothing new. The 7th year anniversary, in which what they're giving us is probably just a handful of rewards, dude. You're gonna get a fucking one random bag of a random resource, in which you are still going to have to spend $50 to $200 to get a damn decal that's not garbage. Okay. Is this what you guys want? Me, I'm just toxic. I feel it in my fucking blood. Okay? Inflammation, all that. Four towers. Oh, is that what's new? Tengeku 4 towers? Is that it? Version 4.0 major update. There's one thing that is, we don't even know what it is. What the fuck is the 4 towers? Is it like, oh, in order to experience this, you need to dedicate 7 hours to climbing, but then you'll be able to experience it. Oh, wow. Good. What does the senpai say? I'm not reading aloud. Big update. Continue playing the game. Thank y'all. We will hold the 7th anniversary. We're going both salad and fries with your burger, or having, oh, you get it already. What? What is going on? I don't know. Well, anyways. Anyways. But he says, memes. Well, I just feel hollow and depressed, but you know, it's fine. Oh no! Oh no! Oh fuck, I didn't. God damn it. God damn it. Did we go too much? There we go. Was Leonardo finally moved from the under 25 club? Flirty actor 48 seen partying with 27-year-old model. Does this, I mean, yeah, partying, but does that mean, I feel like he'd still want, I don't know. I feel like, is he in a relationship, or is he just seen partying with a, with a fossil? I'm kidding, okay. Me showing homeless people. All right, here's the monsters, the piece of shit, okay. Doesn't mean to be weird. Nub says, a new meme. Sorry, make a new license. Create. What is this? Wizards? Okay, make a new license. Create a mess of power grabs. Power grabs. Be unlawful and thereby invalid. I don't know. This is when memes are topical. It's rough for me. I can't see it because it's so dark. Okay. Okay, we'll read this. Panda says Discord. Yeah, we have a Discord memes tab where you just put memes. But I'm also reading like what essentially is like memes from 6 months ago because I stopped doing this and I don't want to leave behind any of the good memes. So, also I feel like I got to give you guys a grace period to upload memes again because we don't have a fucking gargantuan community. So yeah, but yes. Rasa says, Grin looking, I looked at a game called Ocean? Ocean, bruh, is looking good. What? Interesting, what is it about? What's the game? Lone says, I have 2,401k chat points. I'm not sure if I earned these points. Yeah, you probably did. I feel like it's fair. And you ask Fluff. Fluff's got, and especially if it's over at Twitch, Fluff's got like I think like maybe 500,000. It's rough. It's good. It's great. I love it. But it's also like, oh god, I'm so sorry you've given me so much time. Two new Nikitas. Hit me with those, Lone. Send me them over to the Discord. We shall see, because but food is gonna be arriving eventually, and I can't wait. Cause your boy's hungry. Whenever I hear hungry, I think of that weird Fast and the Furious moment where that black guy says, "We hungry." I've only watched 3 movies, but it's vivid in my head. If people who knew exactly what I'm talking about didn't even explain what Fast and Furious movie was, haha. I think it's just because it always plays it on like TV whenever I pass by. I guess they have a license for it or something. Anyways, Red says, is the new area not? Yeah, the new area might be new, but I don't know. What is new? Is it like when it comes out, let me see what it actually looks like, or is it just like no? This is honestly, if it's a new area, that's something. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. G8 says, wait, you guys have DC? A Discord? Yeah, we have Discord. It should be in the comments or the description of this video. We have a Discord called Brothers Grin. Brothers Grin. It's so fucked up that I've gotten Brothers Grin. I think when I say Brothers Grin, I think it's Brothers Grimm. But it's when I think of Brothers Grim, I think of Brothers. Fuck. It sounds like a cult, and it might be. People who've been here for a long time probably feel like it is. BC says, you can't never escape the tower. Well, what if I private all those videos? Huh? I got this thing on my arm. If you guys see it, you guys can't. You can see a little bit. This little thing. God damn it, it's itchy. And I can't itch it. She hates says, wait, you guys did like a server? Yeah, like a server. Yeah, we got a server. We got a bunch of channels, a bunch of things. A little bit dead, but it comes back when there's like, a game. She hates says, where can I join? Yeah, it's in the description. Is it like a close? No, it's literally in the comment section of every single description of every video we ever uploaded. Red says, lol, sorry for no, it's okay, Red. I appreciate you having the diligence to go check for me, because it could have been something, and it was. It theoretically is. I still don't know if I should make a video on it, because I feel like I'm just turning into that asshole who keeps like feeding starving cats. Meanwhile, I will die in a year if I continue to feed you. Essentially, it's like that. We're at that point, okay? It's not that I'm allergic, because I can fucking survive allergicness. It's almost like, no, a better way to phrase it is like I'm feeding cats while simultaneously there are lions eating my food. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna starve. And yeah. If you guys don't know what our plight is with Let It Die a little bit, the videos continue to do well-ish on our channel to where it is basically impossible to signal to YouTube that we are no longer a Let It Die channel. Because every month, my overall viewership is like our streams with random games get like 100 views, maybe 200 views, a little bit. And then there's the bank vault of Let It Die videos, which people just keep watching as if it's like a marathon series, and then it encompasses like maybe 3,000 views, the whole thing. So then YouTube is just like, oh, you're like a roguelike difficulty-based channel, and now here I am playing VR games, and they're like, well, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah. Red says, lost, sorry for the Lone says, I can link the Discord. Yeah, hit him with the link. Lone's got Brothers Grid. There it is. Red says, I guess I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do what Lone just did, but in the goddamn my brain's melting. In the chat. Here we go. That is the Brothers Grid channel. If Pan, if you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. It's a cool group of people. Lovely. It is sometimes quiet because yes, but if you at me, I tend to see it usually, almost always. It may be a week later because I have bad tunnel vision. It's one of my issues in my life where it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I gotta like lock into something and I'll just be fucking gone. Red says, I guess I've been gone for Let It Die. I never knew. Yeah, no. I appreciate you telling me. It's the fact that you paused what you were doing and went up and looked and seen if it was actually new. That's some moderator shit right there. I'll have to huck a wrench at you eventually, Red. She Hates says, okay, thanks, Lone. Really appreciate. Red is doing God's work a little bit with our channel because there was a time when you guys guilt tripped me very easily into giving you all mod whatever, fucking modership. And the whole chat was just a fucking bunch of blue. and everyone was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm like, yeah. And now Red is doing God's work by being gray. Okay. She Hates says, okay, thanks, no. I really appreciate it, dude. Red says, I've seen all of the Fast movies. They certainly get more and more absurd, but yeah, we call it. There's a good, what is it called? Good, like, absurd fun, you know what I mean? Like just guilty pleasures, for sure. I feel like Fast is definitely one of those things for people. I do find that I am not a car guy, so I feel like I'm just not tapping into that in some way, you know? Also, sorry, Ross, I should have replied to this faster. It is a really great puzzle. Oh, the one you mentioned, the ocean kind of game. With Genshin, is not that fun anymore for me because story is twice as long and the plot is so dragging. I do like Honkai Star Rail. They're straightforward. This is the story. This is what's happening, and you enjoy yourself by consuming the lore. Ooh, yeah, that sounds like a much better thing, man. Much better thing. I submit 10 memes. We'll get to it maybe in 6 months. Nah, I shoot fast. I eventually probably will do a mix of like old and new. But yes. But we call Rasta. Yeah, man. Rasta, with the new event that happened in Genshin just now. I feel weird, man. I'm not sure if you can relate in any way, but like I jumped in and I was. I enjoyed the characters. Like I enjoyed seeing like Shincho and all these characters kind of interact with each other. It was cool seeing like Liyue and Mondstadt, but like they're finally just kind of interacting. But like it's a cool novelty, but it feels like this should have been done before. Anyways, it was neat seeing them interact, but at the same simultaneously, I also kind of felt like I used to love this. I would have went crazy for this like 2 years ago. I would have been like, holy fuck, it's the characters I love interacting with each other. It's so fun. And now I just feel like I'm not sure if it's boredom or just kind of like hollowness, you know? I don't know. It sucks because I don't want to hate on Genshin too much. I already do a lot, but man, I'm are you excited for ZZZ, Rasta? I'm curious about ZZZ, but I'm really interested in Withering Waves. That's the game that I have probably too much hope in, you know. Red says, I guess I've been gone. Okay, thanks. Lone says no, not the 427 Let It Die playlist, anything but that. No, yeah, no, I don't think we will do it. Again, if we did do it, it'd just basically be unlisted. So you guys would still be able to watch it. It would just hopefully chip away at the that overall Let It Die conversion of numbers. So like instead of 1,000 or 2,000 views per month, it would be 20, maybe 12. But I don't know. That's kind of a dumb thing to do. Yeah. I have sent the Nikki. Ooh, okay, we'll check it out in a minute. What does this mean that's been here for like 20 minutes? The funniest thing about this whole OGL, a very current meme, Wizards of the Coast, okay, it's some sort of thing with that debate, is that they don't expect a bunch of tabletop gamers to pick apart documents, argue endlessly about what it means, and then go off and do their own thing. This was a topical meme, I think, a couple months back. Rough. Anyways, ooh, what is this? Oh, fuck. Wow, Leela looks rough. Shit, what is this? That time I got frozen for 1,000 years and got... Is it 1,000 years? I thought I was like frozen for 1,000 years or 100,000 years. We like civilization ended 3 times in the last fucking 1,000 years. God damn. For 100 years and got a new job as a delivery boy. God, I hope not. Am I the only one that looks back at Futurama as being like one of the most like ahead of its time clever shows ever, but also kind of start to hate Leela a lot? Like I find it hard to go back and watch it, and I'm sorry to like, have some incel whatever essentially. But Leela to me is just, the more you watch, especially when you know how like they made Fry such a good wholesome boy that it just makes it like painful to watch, and you're like, Leela, I hate you so much. You're just the worst. And yeah, and they kind of pull it all full circle, but it's like, man, god damn Leela, like I don't know, like it ends sweet where like, yeah, they get together eventually, it makes sense. The dog episode, we cry, all that. Yeah, but then I would have also loved if there was like just a third character that like halfway through the season they were like, let's make a new woman that's not a total fucking evil kind of narcissist, whatever. And yeah. Anyways, yeah, Leela rough. Genshin has released. Genshin at release was its peak. It wasn't great, but really, I really liked. I think Genshin to me peaked right around Zhongli getting his patch. I feel like that was when I was having the most fun with Genshin. I will try ZZZ, but I didn't get too much into ZZ the beta test. I see. Futurama, I only liked Zoid. Really? Oh man, I fucking love Fry. Bender and Fry are like, it's kind of like Rick and Morty, but I don't know. To me, I don't know, Bender is one of the things I love so deeply, because unlike Leela, which I feel like was really weird, like the relationship, their dynamic, all that stuff was weird, the relationship between Bender and Fry was like beautifully wholesome, like just such a good bromance, where like, dude, Bender's clearly like a fucking conceited a little bit, insecure, all that kind of stuff, but he's also like a fucking friend. Like he'll dive into the fire and be like, hey, I hate that you got us here, but let's do this, and he'll like shit on you on the way out, but he'll help you. There was like this weird thing. Also, I just loved the whole dynamic there was awesome. Bender and Fry's friendship is like the real romance story of the whole thing, except there's no actual like intimacy. It's just like, you're my brother, you're flawed and fucked up, but hey, let's go. And it's beautiful. Meme says, I've been really missing my friends lately, so naturally I didn't reach out communication with them whatsoever. Instead, I just sit in my own sadness and despair and hope that they do something. It is one of those things that is like becoming all the more real with my generation as well as other generations, where it's like, how do I put it? It's like, I need you to invite me to things. I don't feel this way, by the way, anymore, because I don't have anyone to ask me anymore. But I don't want, I don't want you to, no, I want you to invite me to things just for me to say no to them. But if you stop inviting me to things, I will cease to exist in your life, period. Okay, every now and again, I'll be like, I've said no 5 times. Fuck. Okay, fine, I'll do this one. But that's what you gotta do. It also helps because maybe we're all insecure and we all want to feel wanted and all that stuff. So it's all a bunch of messed up shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let us read one more meme and then we'll wind down as we look at Lone's filthy degeneracy nonsense as a community together. And only slightly judge him, which never happens. You guys usually just full send it, which, you know, to say la vie. Self-driving cars aren't even hard to make. Just program it to not do the whole hitting stuff. No, right. We should have ended on a better meme. We can't. We're done. Face cam. Let's see. All right. So for those guys who do not know, Lone is very into this completely wholesome, totally not degeneracy game called Nikita, and it's just the most excessive character design you've ever seen. But you know, c'est la vie again. Okay, they all look not too much. I like the design. The design is working on me. All right. I don't know. This weird thing going on where the stomach is like a big, horny jail nonsense. This just looks nice. I like the symmetry. Oh, there's like a gap within the hip line. I think Red is gonna like this a lot. There's also like a bikini line. I feel like this is gonna be up Red's alley. Maybe a little bit less clothes, but I feel like the aspect of clothes, like just enough. There's like gaps. I feel like that's gonna, do the thing. Huh. Red says, the curse of being the only Let It Die content creator. There was one other. There was one other. He was better than me in every conceivable way. But he wasn't good about knowing, I think, how to connect with people. Well, no, that's not true. I think he was. It's hard to describe. One of the things I think I was okay at, and this is also why I haven't made certain videos that people wanted me to make. I was really good about knowing, okay, this is the problem that people are having. What is a good answer? Like, what is an answer that people would accept and be satisfied and happy to hear? And a lot of people, so like for me, a lot of people want me to do the Forceman fights. All of the answers to do anything past White Steel are fucking terrible. It is like the razor's edge of you being able to beat this or succeed. It does not feel fulfilling. You have to do it 15 times. You get kicked in the chest 16 times if you fail to get the item that you want. It is just brutal, painful, everything else in between. It's tough. And this guy was just like, oh, I'll tell you how to do it. And then he does the most impossible thing. And people are like, hey, teacher, what? Like, that's really hard for me. And you're like, and he's like, yeah, that's how you do it. And I was just like, I'm going to try to think about this problem enough until I can find an angle that people would actually be able to be to be able to have fun with it. Yeah. But there was one other guy. I think he ended up also moving a lot of his focus on streaming, which was, I think, a rough call, because I think it helps having a catalog on YouTube. In fact, maybe it helps too much having a catalog on YouTube. The would-be a mod in Taylor. She hates says, well, anyone I know, I say this every stream, but thanks for sharing a bit of your thoughts, man. I appreciate your content. I'm gonna go smoking and play bingo. Have fun with your fam. Enjoy the rest of your day. She hates. It was lovely talking to you. Hopefully I can see you again. You're nothing but wonderful. Red says, see ya. Everyone's bouncing. Oh, you also bounce? Okay, bye everyone. The Red Hood. I spent 410 summons to get her. Red Hood, a single one of her. PD her 4 times and max limit. Okay, so you just wanted this character. Honestly, Lone, this might be one of the favorites. Although I do have a shitty memory and I keep forgetting the other ones you show me. But I think this one looks like one of the best. What is the whole thing here? Would she have a rail gun? Oh, a sniper. It's a big ass sniper. Okay. It's cute. Does she have she just holds a jacket? I'm not sure if I like it as much when she's without the jacket. I thought it was a cape or something, and now it just looks like she's gonna throw it her back, essentially. Okay. Maybe she just has a great, like, quest, like personality quest. I don't know. This one's not really doing the, like, I don't get the appeal aspect. I get the design aspect's kind of neat. And now that I see, like, the 3D layout of it, it's not as fire to me. This is her, like, special thing. Okay, she's going fast. She's speedy. Is that it? Okay. Cool. That's cool. She just sprints. That's neat. I dislike the design a lot. I don't like it. It's so white. There's not enough contrast with the blue. But her feet are also creeping me out. She looks like she has alien, gross Japanese broken feet, whatever, Chinese Japanese, with a horrible act of breaking feet. I don't like that one a lot. That one looks weird to me. That one looks better. That one's a little more cute. The contrast of the pink and the white look a little bit. Oh, and there's a goth variant? Golly. Also, she's sitting in that. I couldn't really understand the position that she was sitting in. That's pretty. Okay, we're gonna skip this. It's a little much. A little much. Okay. All right. I don't know how I feel about this one. Also, they're definitely not the same character. I realized. What the fuck was that? Was that a goat or a deer? Is she like a pagan type thing? What is this? Why was there a deer? That's just horrifying. Oh, I see. I got them confused. It didn't. I see. This was the character we just seen. Yeah, I don't like her design. She looks like shit. Sorry to be that way, but I do not vibe with it. Is she has a katana? Okay. The hat's cute. I don't dislike the hat. It's just the color scheme that to me really does looks like Ain. Okay, and then there's this. This was the one that we've seen. This one looks great. This one looks pretty good. The pink and the white contrast looks nice. As far as the skin, at this point, I can't comment. It's just like there's a lot. There's a lot of, flesh, essentially. But yes. I think this one has to win, even though, I don't know. I feel like if they did too much. Like the whole, yeah, they did too much. Like there's too much gaps in the armor. I thought it was a little bit, and then we seen like the fucking 360 view, and we're like, now there's like no clothing. What does Lone say about all this? Lone says, Red Hood is my second favorite Nikita, and she is just the strongest Nikita, both in lore, yet weird, because they don't really show her being like all destructive in the thing, just shows her being fast. That's kind of cool. I like her overall color scheme and all that stuff. I think if it was just the breasts, essentially stomach and waist or hips, that's perfect. Leave it there. Instead, they're like asses out, side of the legs being shown, all that. I'm like, it's a lot, my guy. Yeah. Lone says she has a sniper and she uses her burst to turn full auto. Well, that just seems a little busted. The Scarlet and she is a swordsman. Okay. Also, Panda says Bender plus Fry equals bro man's. Hell yes. GY80. What's that? GY80. Oh God, you gotta go. Okay. This is Scarlet, and she is a swordsman. Yeah, the Scarlet one was neat. Yeah, this, or was it this one? Was she also a swordsman? I don't know. I don't know what was her thing. I thought she had a sword. Oh no, she had a sniper. Oh, we didn't get to see her whole scheme. Cause yeah, I realized that we were on the wrong thing. What is her whole this? Oh, is she a goat? Right, we seen the goat. That was weird. Or it's a deer, but still. I don't get what that is. Why do we see weird devil shit? Yeah. the Scarlet, she's the swordsman. Dorothy has a lot of trauma and is the perfect example of what happens to someone when the world keeps knocking you down and you snap. Oh, I see. So she's crazy. Is she an angel that's psychotic? Okay. Huh. So is that what that, like, she's like insane? She snapped. She has like a bit of madness. So she's like, here, I'm drinking tea, but she's like, I'll rip off your dick and all that. Got it. Makes sense. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a stream. I am off to go maybe eat. I don't know if it's here or not, but yeah, we'll see. We have a video on the Mind Palace of Madness channel. If you like VR and you wanted to check it out, it is it's just a guide. I feel weird. I even put in the comment section of that video where I was kind of like, I don't know if I really want to make this type of video. Like, I don't want to be known as the guide channel on Hellsweeper or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel, again, I have this thing in my head where, like, it's the same thing that happened in Let It Die, where, like, I see so many people who are, like, no one's producing valuable content on a good game. It's a good game. Maybe not great, but good game. Hellsweeper's good. And to me, it's annoying when there's no one who is trying to help people who, in a game that actually has, like, questions that are disabling people having a good time. So I made 2 videos. One video was how to beat the 3rd boss and probably every difficulty above. And then I have one more video, which is to basically how to farm, how to get experience in that game to the best of my knowledge, although it's kind of broken even in that way. And that's, I think, as far as we'll go as far as guides. I think I'll get back into maybe making some fun videos as far as if I can think of an idea that I can approach or not, something like that. But as far as that, we are just going to be focusing on other content. It's tough. I don't know. It's really weird. I'm happy that you guys enjoyed the... I was blown away at the Crossfire Sierra Squadron video doing so well. I'm happy that you guys liked it. I asked Lone and Fluff, and luckily Fluff's seen it. I asked Fluff about the pacing of that video, and I thought maybe there's a gap in it, or I showed too much gunplay. Like the beginning snow level, I could have cut that maybe in half and kept a better pace. But apparently not. People apparently like that video because I think they watched a good bit of it. So yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you guys letting me ramble. I'll see you hopefully Thursday, where we'll be playing maybe some VR. In fact, we might be playing a Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades if I want to buy it. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe playing Vertigo. Maybe Vertigo. I think Vertigo would be a nice thing just to dip our toe back in that game. It could be a fun couple streams, if not just one. I think it could be good. Anyways, hopefully I can see you again, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the videos if you so desire. I appreciate you hanging out. I'm off to go eat. And goodbye, my friends. I should have had this hover. Also, we should raid people, but I'll do it another time. Love you, bye.